What's up, guys? I just finished watching The Walking Dead, the season finale, or the so-called season finale, I'm not sure. But this episode was pretty good. I'm not gonna say it's like in the all-time greats of, the Walking Dead series, but this episode wasn't bad. It was a little over an hour, and I had fun with it. The opening scene of this episode, it was great. We saw it, a couple months back before everything happened, in the world. And it was an opening scene. We got to see it, and that went by. It was just there, and I was just trying to, I just wanted to see what was, going forward past that. First things first, I want to talk about, there was a scene between Eugene and Ezekiel that made me, fully understand, I guess, the theme of this whole episode. It seemed like this whole episode was based on hope. In a way, it seemed like that way to me. It was based on hope because everyone was being discouraged and they were finding a way to, bring themselves back and to face that fear that they have, which was awesome. Before I get any further, there was some, what was I gonna say? Maggie came back. We got to see her in the opening credits, which was also cool. I am actually glad that Maggie's back because now that Rick's gone, we own the main characters that we really have, or really from the OG cast, is basically just Daryl, Carol. If you want to count Judith, you can count Judith. And I feel like I'm missing somebody. But if not, I'm talking about, from like season 1 and probably 2 characters that, that are still alive. And, Maggie's back. Now we have that star power back. It was just great, seeing her in the one scene, in the opening scene. And then later on, we get to see her again, which was crazy. But this whole episode, to me, it was a good episode, but it was a slow paced episode. There was action, but the action was kind of toned down, I guess. I was disappointed in some scenes, in one scene in particular that it's from the comic books where Beta, he gets killed, but before that he has a battle with Negan, and Negan has Lucille, and in this episode Negan did not have Lucille. So I thought that was one of the downsides to this episode, was not being able to see Negan actually take on Beta with Lucille. So I was pretty disappointed in that, and the way he died when Daryl stabbed him in both eyes was awesome. It was cool, but it ended way too fast. And right after that, we got to Negan was like, "Do you know who the hell that was?" And then Daryl, I don't know if he didn't really care or he didn't know who the actual person was, but that was cool. I think in the comic books he was actually Beta was actually a basketball player, if I'm right. But that was cool. I think that's one of the downsides to this episode, though, is just I really wanted the battle between Negan and Beta to be a little more than what we got, because we didn't really get much from it. There was also, I want to talk about Lydia and Carol because their dynamic within this episode was awesome. I actually like that, they actually got more screen time together, and I basically feel like Lydia is probably gonna fill that daughter role for Carol. Like, Carol has had many children in the Walking Dead world, but I feel like Lydia is probably gonna be the one she's gonna be there for a long time, and she's not gonna go away. I actually like that, especially towards the end when they're going down the cliff. The walkers, they're taking the walkers down the cliff, and her and Lydia have the special moment, and I was like, man, that was a very touching moment. There was also a moment with Maggie and Judith. That moment right there, I feel like that moment made me tear up a little bit, because as soon as Maggie saw Judith, I quickly thought back to season 3, The Killer Within. I went back straight to that episode when Maggie was there with Carl when Judith was born. So that really teared me up, and I was like, man, this is awesome that Maggie's back, and I hope that her and Judith have more interactions other than that just one scene. But I mean, it was awesome, guys. The most of the action came in within the herd scene when there was a group of I think there was 4 groups, 2 in each. Beatrice, she's the one who died in this episode, and she was with Oceanside, but you never really got much from her, so I didn't really feel anything. But it did suck to see, have a character die the way she died, because those zombies just ripped her apart. And then Carol managed to get away because Beatrice was with Carol, so Carol got to get away, and Lydia actually took the backpack that Beatrice kept, and she walked out. And Negan, that was another thing. Negan and Lydia had a moment, and Negan ended up giving Lydia Alpha's mask, her mother's mask. So that's what she was wearing when she went to get the backpack and went with Carol. There were a lot of touching scenes in this. It was awesome. And there was another one with where was it? I wrote some stuff down. Let me just go back to the hurt scene real quick. The hurt scene, with the arrows being shot at all the whispers. It was great. I think the best villain in this series are the Whisperers. Negan was great. I would still put Governor over Negan. But the Whisperers were great. They were a fearsome villain. They were terrifying. They were scary. They were delusional. They thought what they were doing was right for the world. And they're probably my number 1 villain behind the Governor. And then it's the Hunters. Then it's Negan, because Negan to me was a little dragged out. This one, with the Whispers, we got a season and a half of the Whispers, which isn't that bad. A season and a half. It was actually pretty good, and it was pretty decent. I actually enjoyed the time being with the Whispers, with Alpha, with Beta, just seeing with Gamma, seeing their whole dynamic and everything, what was going on within the group, and how what they thought of the world, was based how Daryl and them seeing it. It was awesome. The Whisperers were one of the great villains, and I actually think they're probably the best villains. They are the best villains. So, but there was another thing here at the end. Daryl and Carol, they're supposedly having a spinoff. So Daryl brought up New Mexico. So in my head I was like, maybe they're gonna end up going to New Mexico on their spinoff. I don't know the reason why. I don't know if it's after the Rick movies or in between the Rick movies. I don't know what, but I'm actually curious to see what's going on with that. But hopefully it doesn't, get too carried away, because we know The Walking Dead is coming to an end. So I'm sure the Daryl and Carol spinoff is gonna have to be between those Rick movies, so their story can end as well within The Walking Dead. I would hope so. But finally, the ending of this episode with the Commonwealth was awesome. Actually seeing the stormtroopers just rolling was awesome. The suits actually don't look cheap. They actually look really good. I thought it was gonna be funny looking on screen, but it's not. It's like when Eugene, Yumiko, Ezekiel, and the princess. I'm still a little hesitant about the princess. I don't like her jokes or anything. I really don't like her jokes. It's corny to me. It's weird. I don't know. I had to get a little more accustomed to her. In the comics, it's different than when it's portrayed on TV. So maybe that's why I like it more in the comic than on the TV. But yeah, just seeing the Commonwealth on screen is awesome. Whenever we get to see, because we're having an additional 6 more episodes, when we finally get to see, where they come from in the Commonwealth, the whole freaking place that they have, bigger than Alexandria, Kingdom, Hilltop, maybe even put together. It's gonna be awesome just seeing all of that. Overall, guys, this episode was I probably would give it just an 8 out of 10, because I really wish there was that Beta and Negan scene actually dragged out a little more, because Negan did kill Alpha, Beta loved Alpha, and I wanted to see them, clash, and they never really got the clash. Even if they had a battle like how Daryl fought Beta, what was it, a season? Yes, in season 9, I believe. Yeah, in season 9, the second half of season 9, when he fought Beta in that elevator shop. That would have been better than what we got in this episode. But other than that, I think this episode was actually a pretty solid episode, and it's a good finale / not finale But yeah, guys, that's what I think about this episode. I'm going to be reviewing The Walking Dead World Beyond. Hopefully it's good. I heard Rick mixed reviews on this, so hopefully it actually works out, guys. So yeah, guys, make sure you subscribe, make sure you come back and check back for more.